In a world controlled by massive corporations, a steady aim and split-second decisions are needed for your Megacon to complete its goals. Begin your missions at the Mercs Hub on beastsofwar.com. Flames of War brings you the battles of World War II in epic 15mm scale. Go to the hub on beastsofwar.com to find news, tactics, and tutorials about the game.
So, hi guys, myself and John are back for more unboxings. Right, this time we're going to do a little Kings of War.
Yeah.
Now, these have been out for a while, but they're a cool kit and I wanted to show them off. These are the werewolves for the Undead faction of Kings of War.
Okay.
They're a really, really nice model and they add to the army in a really nice fashion. So if I crack open the box, and John, if you take those.
Yep.
So, if you unbag those, and quickly show off the bases, because these are actually a large infantry for Kings of War. So you'll get them in a regiment of 3 or a horde of 6, which is quite different because normally hordes are about, I think it's 40 guys, which is a lot of minis to paint.
It's a lot, yeah.
So if you're wanting to throw something a little heavier down on the table, these are an easy way to do it with a low model count. So John, if you pass me some of the bits here.
Right, so I'll give you the torsos first.
Yeah, if you give me the bodies first, we'll put them into camera. So you've got 2 poses in the box. You've got the nice standing up guy with lots of muscles. Little space for his tail, nice big mane down the back. You've then got the other pose, which is sort of a more leaning pose, as if it's down about to grab a rock and throw it at your face.
Or pounce.
Yes, or pounce. So if you pass me the arms, I'll pull these out.
Alright, so the arms.
Yeah, so you get enough arms for everybody, and you've got them in a few different flavours. So you've got open hands and closed hands. I like the guy who's just got the fist as if he's ready to punch someone.
Yep.
We then get the heads and tails. So if you pass them through as well.
The tails are pretty basic.
Yeah, well, it's a nice little bit of fur detail they've done on them. So if I get this picked up, you can see it's just those nice little extras which add to miniatures.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I think we get 3 or 4 heads in the box.
We have
so if you pass them through,
4 heads in the box. And I like these. These are actually quite cool.
Yeah, so you've got
Throwing them away.
small fiddly bits.
Yep.
So you've got open howling mouths, and then you've got
Closed, snarly sort of thing.
Snarly sort of mouths.
Yeah.
They're really nice, and like I said, they add to your army. So, as you know, Undead, they have the shambling rule on most of their units.
So they are quite slow.
They can't move at the double, you know, which really slows them down. So you sort of have to have your heroes there babysitting your units a little more, using the surge to get them up and into combat. These don't have that. What they have instead is the nimble rule.
Right.
So what they can do is they can move at the double, or they can charge, and they can make a 90-degree turn during it.
Yeah.
So these things are quite nippy on the battlefield, and because they're larger infantry, and you're getting the horde on a smaller sort of footprint, you can sort of be a little bit easier with moving them about, because I've noticed with hordes, with them being that big footprint, there are just some parts of the board where they can't get to. That, and you can trap them, as I've discussed with Rich on Conquering Kings of War.
Yeah.
Right, now, guys, we'll quickly nip away and build these, because I really want to show them off built before I talk more about them. So give us a sec, we'll be right back.
Keep your blaster handy, the West is a dangerous place. Fight to survive as men turn to monsters and the dead rise on the Wild West Exodus Hub at beastsofwar.com. Venture into the dangerous dungeons of myth as a mighty hero and stand against the darkness. Visit the Myth Hub on beastsofwar.com and begin your story.
Okay, so we're back, we've got them built. These are really nice to put together.
They are very nice. Not a lot of parts, which is what I like about Mantic as a range.
Yeah, but all the joints are nice, big and clean. You know, you're not having to try and put a 2mm joint on these things.
Yeah.
And even if it is a small joint, it's a peg joint, so you're getting that good contact that you want. So if I put them under close camera here, these things look nice when they're together in a unit.
They do, yeah. It's almost a shame that it's only 3 to a unit, because if you had 9 of those in a unit, they would look amazing.
Well, the most you can do is 6, which is the horde.
Yeah.
You know, but 6 of these rocking up the field is really, really nice. And then you can see I've posed them just slightly differently, so each one looks like he's got a bit of a different pose to him.
Yep.
This, I think, is my favourite, just because it's that big run. Now, they sort of have cartoony arms because they're a bit big and gorilla.
Yeah.
They are. I think that's part of the charm of Mantic's miniatures, is there is that cartooniness to them. Now,
as well as strategically placed pieces of fur.
Yes,
because I
very strategically placed.
I had a giggle at that. So
yes, well, let's put them back just to show those up, because as you can see, they're not your traditional werewolf where it's just pure fur. These are sort of mid-transformation guys with just big hanks of hair coming out of them. The face is transformed, the big
Yep.
mane down the back, the tail. The rest is flesh.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like painting your skin tones, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to ask if they're anatomically correct, because knowing Ronnie, you would just get the correct answer from that.
Probably.
But the other thing these guys have in game is crushing strength 1,
Right.
which means that on your defense, it knocks it back 1. So these guys are defense 5. So let's say it was werewolves against werewolves for handiness. That 5 would become a 4 because of the crushing strength 1. These
Yep.
guys are hitting on a 3+. And if you take a unit of them, I believe it's 9 attacks. And if it's a horde, it's 18.
Wow.
With them having that nimble rule, getting in on the flank or the rear, flank doubles your attacks, rear triples them. So these things are really, really fast. So if you start giving them some magic items to actually just make them a little bit whizzy, I think there's actually one that gives you fly.
Okay.
So you could have these
Flying werewolves.
Flying werewolves, yes. Well, leaping, bounding, charging werewolves.
They're flying. We're putting wings on these things.
No, you're not putting wings on a werewolf.
Yes, I'm putting wings on a werewolf.
No, but you can imagine them being really, really annoying to the flanks of your opponent.
Yeah,
You're going to send these things up the side and just start munching into the side of them, or getting into the back lines where you can get onto those war machines. Because if you can get onto them, it doesn't matter what side you're on them, you're getting those triple attacks.
What are they like points cost wise?
Points cost wise, they're a little bit expensive.
So you're looking at a low model count unit.
Yeah, but it's quite an elite thing. I think for the regiment, I think it's 160 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
For the horde, it's 245. I believe. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, don't hang me. I think I'm right. So they are reasonably expensive, and then if you start adding magic items, they get a little more expensive. But the other one I might give these guys is Brew of Strength, because that brings them up to crushing strength 2.
Right.
So all of a sudden, my dwarf guard, my heavy guys with a 6+ defense on them are down to a 4+. They're basically regular infantry.
So these are guys you want to attack with. These are not guys you want to defend
these
with.
are super aggressive, especially because they don't have that shambling roll, so they can charge and move at the double as normal.
Yeah.
The one flaw they have is, I would say, it's because there's so few of them. The nerve on them's quite good, but unlike most undead, these guys can waver.
Yeah.
So most undead, you've either broken them, they're gone, they're dead, or they're still there and ready to fight.
Would these be a unit you would throw as at a target of opportunity?
Yes.
If your guy has a regiment that's out of place a little bit.
Yeah.
And you
basically
hammer that.
What I would really do with these, you see, if my opponent had cavalry coming up one of my flanks, I would set these to the center, slightly offset. Let his cavalry come in, draw them in, and then send these up and round to the side to deal with that cavalry.
Yeah.
Because of that nimble rule, because they can move fast and get a turn in.
So you could almost, with your undead army, if you had a big group of skeletons, a regiment of skeletons, you could draw their cavalry
you
to
could sort
that.
of feed them.
Yeah, you feed them to the cavalry while these guys work around to get their bonuses to come in the flank or the
Exactly,
rear.
and if you've been clever with your deployment, you can use the spearman, which is phalanx, which stops the thunderous charge. So there are tricks and tactics you can do with this, guys. Myself and Rich actually have a look at these in a future episode of Conquering Kings of War, so stay tuned for that, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out, because we do have a front and backstage series running on Beasts of War for Kings of War. Beasts of War, Kings of War, yep. I think I said it right.
You said it right.
Right, John,
not Beasts of Kings.
Beasts of Kings, or Kings of Beasts.
Or Kings of Beasts.
And suddenly 2 new YouTube channels were born.
Yeah.
Right, guys, myself and John will move on here. If you haven't checked out Kings of War, I definitely advise you to go look at it, because it's basically the main mass fantasy, the mass battle fantasy game these days, because of certain things happening within the industry.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and there's nothing to stop you converting armies over. Guys, myself and John will move on here. Hopefully you've enjoyed this quick look at the werewolves. They're a nice kit. We'll see you in the next video.
It's time for 28mm World War II action. Will you recreate history or reshape it your way? On the Bolt Action Hub at beastsofwar.com. Humanity has been driven from Earth, but now it's time to take it back. Join the Reconquest and fight the Scourge on the Drop Zone Commander Hub at beastsofwar.com.